Okay. So this is session 7, the last in-school session of the year. It's very exciting. It's really meant to be about kind of reflecting on the year and like culminating the activities that you've done with the students. And to get them to think about the transition to high school and support networks when they get there as well. So through your relationships with them, they built some support this year. How can we transfer that to high school and help them do that? So we're just going to go through this today and go through the activities. Okay, so on page 2, we have our session at a glance. So we'll start with an opening, which we do every time. Then we'll do an activity called High School Visions, where they'll create a vision board for what they kind of want their high school experience to look like. Then we'll do the Who I Am t-shirts, just take a break. We'll do an activity with Jenga called Building Support. And then a final activity at the end of a reflection of the whole year. So you can see step by step on page 3. But we'll go over to page 4. I'm going to jump into it. So in the opening, of course, to kind of recap the last session and then talk about the norms and how you've have been or haven't been staying true to them, and kind of remind them about what we did last session, which was the values, roles, and managing impressions session. And then you get into high school vision. So they found out their high schools now.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I'll add to that. So most students have gone online and made that high school selection, but there are some students that have not done it yet. So you will have some students that won't have a true assignment, but they'll know where they want to go.
How does that work at this point? Are they all filled?
No.
Are they getting plugged?
No, so all the high schools are not filled, but more of yours, so probably like a School of Cleveland Science and Medicine will be full now because a lot of students are interested in attending that school. So some of those schools will be filled, but the other schools, they won't. So students still have an opportunity to enroll, of course, until the session actually starts in the fall.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So not only have they selected their school has confirmed what they're going to attend.
So most students, some students will have that, but some students, if they did not go online, as part of what we went over for the high school choice there, that assignment hasn't been designated for them yet.
Mm-hmm. And you said that the teachers will have a list?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the teachers will receive the list for their students, so they'll be helping you all to share with the students where they're going to be going. But the students that have selected their high schools, they know it from their report cards.
So for those students who figured the first thing they want to talk to you about is where they're going to high school. So that's how we're going to start the session off. So on page 5, there's this, we know you learned about where you're going to high school, so you can phrase that how you want based on some students will know, some won't. And kind of go around the group and ask each student to share their plans for the next year, congratulate them on their choices. And so anyone who hasn't selected yet, maybe encourage them to go online and do so.
How would we manage any students that may not have been accepted into the school that they chose if they have questions about that?
I would say, go ahead.
Yeah, so a student, they can talk to their teacher about that. So the teacher probably won't know the definite answer as to why, but they'll be able to help them figure out what happened. Mm-hmm.
And they should have selected multiple choices when they went online, right? So,
Yeah, they have.
So they should have that second or third.
Exactly.
Page 5.
Okay, so once they've gone around and shared what their plans are, then we want to kind of talk about how it's important anytime you enter a new stage in your life to kind of set up some goals or kind of envision what you want that to look like, and how to apply the knowledge they've learned about themselves this year in the next phase of their lives. So that's when we get into the vision board. And before we do that, though, we also are going to provide them with more information about their high schools. So they've received this at the high school choice fair, and you guys had a draft of this during one session with them talking about all the schools. So we're going to have copies of these, about 5 per cohort for the next session. So once you're talking about high schools, they can refer back to this and kind of remind themselves of what is offered at their high school and learn more about it. And then Audrey has also put together this and asked the counselors from each high school to give more information. So this is, you're gonna have a packet of information from each high school that kind of goes into different programs that are available at the high school, who contact people are there, and kind of what the function of that program is. So every student will receive one of these packets, and they'll be able to share these during the session, just to learn more about the school that they're gonna end up at, or where they're still going to select to try and go to, okay?
Can I share something about that?
Sure.
Go ahead and ask your question. So will those be customized if someone has selected Glenville and gotten in? Will the student's name be on it, or we'll just have
No,
a
that's-
series of them?
Yeah, every student will get all information about all of the high schools.
I
So it'll be a booklet similar to this one. but about-
Because I had 2 students, and the last session, I had a brand new student who transferred from Euclid. So I made sure that he had a tracker, and I made a folder for him.
Mhm.
And right away, I was impressed how he told the other students, be quiet, listen to our mentors. And I went, whoa.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of the Ginn Institute, and Mr. Moses, his homeroom teacher, and I both agreed. And so he said to the student, have you thought of blah, blah, blah? And he said, you should go. And he took, Mr. Moses took my thoughts because of the way the student really was becoming a leader.
Okay.
And he was brand new.
Yeah.
First of all, he said, why am I here? What is this? And then I explained it to him, and then he just switched gears, and it was amazing.
That's great.
So, yeah.
I'm just not sure, so Molly showed, the back of the sheet, it also talks about sports on here, and then about any after-school programming the school has, and then last about if the school has internships or externships. So it'll be a lot more information for the students from this sheet than they'll probably find in that booklet. So it'll be a good resource.
So is that the addendum?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
This would be the agenda. Yep. So we'll have copies for each student of that. And then as part of the True2U tracker, we wanted to get them starting to think about like who they might connect to at the high school. So that addendum will really be helpful for this. So once they've kind of gone through the book again and the addendum, then you want to put their attention towards the tracker. And then on the blue page, they'll fill in people I'll get to know at my high school, and then programs I'll connect with at my high school. So they'll go through this information in these booklets and then put it on their tracker. So select 1 or 2 or 3 for each of those categories. At this point too, most of them should be able to fill in where they're going to high school on their tracker. So on the green page, they can do that.
So where in here are we talking about the blue page? Kind of keep me on the page.
Sure. At this page 5.
Still on 5.
Yes, we're still at 5. So first let's add our high schools and more information to our True2U tracker. So you cash out each tracker and a pen. And then they fill in their high school on the green page. And then they fill in the information on the blue page after they've gone. So then once everyone has had a chance to kind of go through that and you kind of circulated around helping them do that, if we move to page 6. Then we want kind of students to share out what they've learned. So we ask them, each student to share at least one person or one program they added to their tracker and explain how that person or program will help them be successful and what they want to connect with them. So if they're really interested in art programs, they can talk about art. If they want to join football, talk about that and talk about their passion. Okay, so then you go on to this individual activity. We're still on page 6, and we say, now that we know even more about our high schools, we're ready to think about our vision for the next 4 years. So what we want that experience to look like. gain more information, now we're gonna go create this vision board. So each student will receive a vision board, okay? And here, we're gonna also pass out materials. So each cohort will receive this packet of materials. And this includes these glitter sticks, which I'm sure the teachers love. Glue sticks, stickers, like inspirational stickers, and then also a packet of different clip art. And you can kind of spread this out, you know, and they can kind of choose what they want. So this is for the whole group, so they can choose which pictures they want. So we have some theater pictures, library, some about science, just different things they might experience. So they can come up and kind of, you lay these out up front. Each of them has this, and then you can explain to them that they can create this however they want. They can write words on it. They can use information from that they gathered for their tracker. Just something that how they want high school to look like for them. So they're actually visualizing what that's going to
Oh, and then these are the stickers,
So some of these like kind of get it done, attitude is everything. Inspired.
So is there just like one packet for the whole cohort, or?
Right, so there's one packet of this, which includes the stickers and the clip art.
Okay.
And then,
So they need to share.
yeah, they need to share this stuff. They'll each get their own board.
Right. So
there are, within these, this packed thing of clip art, there's 4 different sets of pictures in there. So each of these, you should have 4 copies of each of those within that, so they hopefully will be able to find something, find a few things.
Within each container, you're saying?
Yeah, so like this,
That's what complete sets.
So we give about 30 minutes to do that, and like, they'll have their markers too, and kind of however they want to make that. And you can walk around in the system with that as needed. Then after that, so still on page 6, we go into the large group presentation and discussion. So we ask within the group everyone to kind of stand up and share about their vision board. And then have the group clap after each presentation. So these are their hopes for what they hope high school will look like and what they want it to be. And so we want them to share that with the group and then give encouragement on that. I'm going to thank everyone for sharing their hopes and vision. And then as a large group, you can discuss what do you think is important to do in order to make these visions become reality. Okay, these are the special questions on page 6. And what can we do to get back to our goals and visions if we happen to experience a setback? So we've set this goal for ourselves. How can we maintain that path even if things don't go exactly as planned? Okay, so then after that, you close the activity. You can say something. Anytime we move into a new phase in our lives, it's important to set goals and envision what we want the new phase to look like. Then we can make decisions and act based on what those goals and visions are. Any questions about this? Okay, so then on page 7 is the next activity. These are the Who I Am t-shirts. And basically this activity is meant to help the students move information they've learned about themselves and they've recorded on the orange page of their tracker onto their Who I Am t-shirt. So these are what the Who I Am t-shirts look like, and they'll wear these at the culminating event. So it says, I can make it happen, and then on the back it says, because, and then it says, I am. And then what they'll do is they'll give you fabric markers, and they'll be able to write in the different traits they've learned about themselves on these t-shirts. Okay? So, but, you know, we want to assist them in doing that too. At this,
they decide to
at this,
write,
at this,
I'm
this,
Stephen
at this,
Curry, because we have a kid
at this,
obsessed
at this, at this,
and
at this,
when
at
we
this,
do
at this,
the exercise, and
at this,
it's like I am,
at this,
and every answer
at
is
this, at this,
and it's like,
at this, at this,
you know, so I envision
at
a
this,
couple of them
So
at
they
this,
have 3 plan
at this,
pieces that are all the same.
at this,
saying, I'm
at this,
cool, I
at this,
am, you know,
at this,
things that have
at this,
no
at this,
relationship
Yeah.
to
at
the
this,
actual activity.
at
Well,
this,
I mean, if you know
at
that
this,
about your students, you might want
at
to
this,
like sit down with
at
those
this,
certain students and you
at this,
can help them
at
with
this,
this, or I mean,
at
you
this,
know, some students may even
at
need
this,
assistance, like actually
at
writing
this,
on the shirt, so
at this,
you can help them do
at this,
that. I mean, we
at this,
can't control everything,
at this,
but
at this,
just kind of try and
at
direct
this,
them to this as much as
at this,
possible, and like say,
at this,
you could even say,
at this,
I am,
at this,
you know, and have them figure
this,
out what their most important
at this,
strength is and when they like the
at this,
most, and then just have them
at this,
transfer one of that
at this,
t-shirt. I mean,
at this,
and these will be worn at the
at this,
culminating event, so you can
at
also
this,
tell them like, you know,
at this,
Mr. Senden Graham
at
will
this,
be there and he'll want
at
to
this,
see these, and
at
you
this,
know, you want to make sure
at
that
this,
you know, you've been
at this,
doing all you've learned.
at this,
So,
at this,
Appropriate note.
at this,
Yes, and the
Yeah.
CEO will be
At this-
there, so
at this-
CEO Gordon will be there
at
as
this-
well, so you can tell
at this-
them that to kind of help the
at this-
students as well. But also
at
a
this-
suggestion that I would share,
at
just
this-
to have them, okay, think
at this-
about the ones that you want to use
at this-
first, and then
at this,
give them a minute to
at this-
think, and then give
at
them
this-
a t-shirt, or have them write
at
it
this-
out on a sheet of paper,
this-
and then give them the t-shirt.
at
So you
this-
kind of have the opportunity
at
to
this-
view it, and
at this-
then have them put that
at
on
this,
there.
Could you show
at
us
this-
the magazine? It looked like the
at this-
bottom piece said something
at
just
this-
a little bit different.
yeah.
at this,
Okay, so you got
at this-
3 IM.
at this, at
So
this,
it follows along with the
at this-
tracker.
Yeah.
at this,
And then
at this,
Then I am A is from that role actually that you did.
at
So
this,
when they figured out on the
at this-
brother or whatever.
yeah,
at this,
And then I value is
At this-
the last
the
time
value.
too.
at this, at this,
I was
At this-
thinking of
at this,
the list
at this-
of values.
at this,
We have
At
those
this-
posters.
Yeah.
at this,
Right. So that's where
At this-
they should draw all of this
At this-
information from the activities
At this-
they've done throughout the year
At
and
this-
it's listed on their
at
track.
this, at this,
And
at this,
I made a
at this,
suggestion
at this,
to stick
at this,
cardboard
At
or
this-
something that Molly
this-
and
at this,
Audrey
at this,
Audrey
At
are
this-
going to put
this-
in the thing,
At this-
stick
At
cardboard
this-
inside
At this-
the t-shirt.
at this,
Because you do not want the
At this-
colors to
At this-
bleed from the back
At
to
this-
the front.
at this,
So we'll make
At
sure
this-
you have a material that the
at this-
students can do that with.
at this,
Yeah.
at this,
And then these are the fabric markers.
at this,
So
At
each
this-
cohort,
at this-
small group will have one
At this-
pack of these.
at this,
So, you know, like
this-
with the vision board, you
At
can
this-
kind of lay these out and they
At
can
this-
pick what different colors they want
this-
to use. They could use a different
At
color
this-
for each
at this-
square, or if they want it
At
all
this-
the same, that's up to them.
at this,
Okay.
at this,
I'm thinking through it's going
At
to
this-
be a huge concern. I
at
have
this-
kids painting
at this-
t-shirts.
at this,
It didn't.
At this-
Okay.
at this,
Depending about
this-
the amount of
at
pressure
this-
that's used
at
as
this-
an art
at this,
teacher. And it also
at this-
gives it some stability.
at this,
Sure.
at
Well,
this,
we'll have it there, you know, if
At this-
you need it.
Yeah.
Use
at
it.
this,
Also
At this-
on here, I
At this-
made a note that
at this,
somewhere around this tag area, we need
At
to
this-
have them write their initials
At this-
or some way that we can
At this-
identify these later
At
as
this-
theirs. Because once
At
we
this-
complete this,
at this,
then we'll collect
At this-
it back and
At this-
we'll stay at the school
At this-
so that everyone has it
At this-
for the May event.
at this,
So what did you just say about
At this-
identifying?
at this,
So have them
At this-
write their initials
At this-
or their name
at this,
by the.
at this, at this,
Same initials.
at this, at
Yeah,
this,
so some kind of distinguishable.
at this, at this, at this,
thing.
at this, at this,
And are they gonna be
At this-
separated by schools
at this-
and cohorts or whatever?
at this,
Well,
At
so
this-
the
at this-
schools all ordered
At this-
however many t-shirts they
At this-
needed, the sizing, so we're
At
gonna
this-
get that to the school and then
At
they're
this-
gonna be asked to kind of separate
At this-
by cohort.
at this,
So I meant
At this-
at the event,
At
how
this-
the kids gonna get the t-shirt?
Oh,
this-
they'll get them when they're
at
at
this,
So they're getting.
at this,
yeah, so
At
they'll
this-
stay at the school, so they'll
this-
come to the event
at
wearing
this-
them, the event wearing them, the event wearing them.
Where did you have in the back?
Okay, so yeah, you fill them out and then you collect the teachers back and make sure we have those. All right, so any questions on that? So then now we're on to page 8. So then you take a break. And then we're going to move into another game of Jenga. So we use these in session 5. And then we're going to come back to them. So this is called Building Supports. And we want students to think about the importance of having good support and having good relationships. And so we're going to use this kind of as a metaphor for that. Oh Lord.
You're failing miserably.
I didn't pick a very good. Okay. So while they're on break, you'll want to set up the Jenga for them. And again, there should be enough Jenga so that you can divide your small group, your cohort, into 2 groups so you'd have roughly like 5 students working with each game so they can really get to engage with it. And so you have this set up, and then the introduction is here at the bottom of page 8. Do you remember playing Jenga during our session in February? Today we're going to use the Jenga games again, but this time in a slightly different way. So you're going to have, as mentors, you're going to have cards. Grab my cards. I'll take them.
It's these things that you printed off here, I think.
Yeah, I sent them out.
Like these.
Yes. Oh, I think
Really
I have
good.
Here we go. Thank you. Thanks. So each cohort will get a little bag like this, and it'll contain 2 sets of cards. The first one you're going to do with the students is called Crumbling Supports. Okay? And so you go through each of the cards, you read them out, and then you talk about, once they've completed the little step in the activity, you talk about like why, like what's important about not doing that or whatnot. So for example, the first one is skipping class, you remove 2 blocks. Okay? So then one of the students, you have the full tower, would have to remove 2 blocks based on that card, and they can't take from the top layer, so they really have to kind of work through it. And then we talk about the possible ramifications of the scenario. So you can ask something like, this is on page 9, what might happen if someone did this? So what are the ramifications of skipping class? So you get behind, you might break, your relationship with your teacher might suffer as a result, whatever, things like that, okay? So you read that one, they pull that out, you talk about the ramifications. The next one is interrupting someone when they're speaking, remove 2 blocks. So then the next student removes 2 blocks. And then you talk about the ramifications of doing that. And so you go through all of these cards, basically until the tower falls, or you go through all the cards. The tower will fall before you get through all of them, probably. And so once they take the blocks out, they just put them to the side and you just kind of keep going through. So then, once the tower's done, okay.
If the tower falls before we do the blocks, do you want us to continue and talk about the other cards?
You
I
can.
guess it depends on time.
Yeah, it depends on time. It depends on like if both groups have fallen too. So you can kind of like see how it goes. You could kind of like, I would kind of just probably move on if it were me, honestly. But if you feel like there's some that you didn't get to and you really want to talk about it, then you can talk about it.
When you talk about support, so you're saying that this Jenga thing shows that a child should have all the support that they need?
Well, it's,
I'm just saying, assuming it's just like life or what they have to be successful. So does the Jenga, I'm just trying to figure out what the Jenga
represent.
Is for support. Is that your family and all the things you need to be successful in life?
Mm-hmm.
Because it won't be a perfect Jenga to begin with. Just something that occurred to me. So I'm just saying how we So maybe we could set up, if you had all the things that you need to be successful, this is what it would look like. And then say, if you don't do these things, even with those things that are already there, if you don't take ownership of the things that you want to do, and if you go to school and you skip class, then we pull those out, even with all that support, with all that support, with all that support.
Yeah, well,
with all that support.
no, yeah, no, I understand, well, the thing is too, is that we want, yeah, kind of, there's a second piece to this, but then also we want the students, we don't want to set it up too much because we want the students to start thinking about what does this represent. Like, one of the questions at the end is to get them to reflect on like, what do these black actually represent?
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, and you'll,
Yeah.
Choices. And so your choices, the consequence of skipping a class, not doing homework,
I just think we're using the wrong word. Maybe
well, there,
foundation.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying this is, I think we just sort of say, we're just gonna use this as just something that we're gonna use to demonstrate choices and consequences, not saying that it's a support system.
Okay.
Are you following me?
Yeah,
So, because, what only thing I'm thinking of, if you're saying that, when you use the word support, it sounds like, we know that there are a lot of different facets of families that have different things on them, and think that because theirs is not like this, it's going to be a little bit perfect. So they are, even though they're going to school and whatever else, this just represents something that's going to be here, and if you pull those out, it will diminish you'll lose something.
Right.
So we don't want this to represent anything other than just a tool.
right, so this is, well, if we get to the building supports, I think you'll see like, these are all about kind of individual choices you can make.
I agree with the choice part.
Right, and so, but it's also about like relationships too, so, some of the, like, no matter what your situation, you can be a good friend, you can fully listen to someone,
Right.
things like that.
As long as we're just using the blocks as a symbol or tool to demonstrate that and not anything that reflects on their own personal.
Yeah, no, it's not, I mean, it's not any kind of.
I just wanted to ask that because to make sure I was clear.
Sure, yeah.
And I think it was session 3, and all the students in the circle, that's one, because the students have to come up with their own interpretation. One was the question, you know, the adult plan, one of your sons has not been attending school. And they remembered that when he responded so positively, and they said, what would your choice be, to call them to visit, to make sure to find out why. And they also took it, you know, as I would want somebody, if I were going to school, they really, it's resonated.
No, that part that's not the part I was.
No, but this ties in.
That wasn't the part I was questioning. It was just the blocks. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, they just represent like decisions you can make, or,
That's what I'm saying. I just want to capture it. Right. The word support to me just conjured up another definition. So
Kind of just like, you start making bad decisions, you start skipping class, you go down the road, in fact, it's gonna crack. You're just gonna have nothing but junk to work with, so don't, that's the whole purpose here, right? Discuss these things.
no, yeah, I mean, and part of it
the
is,
word that threw me out. That's all.
I mean, part of it, we want them to do that reflection, like, we don't want to tell them.
That part is good.
Yeah, we don't even want to tell them, like, you don't even have to tell them the name of the activity or anything.
If we've got that part on there, you have a reflection.
No, 'cause- so,
That's fine. So that was just my thought.
so page page 9, so once you've done like the crumbling support piece, then you go into, once like the tower has fallen, then you talk about kind of, we can rebuild the tower. So then you go into building support, these are a different set of bars. And so they're starting kind of with a blank slate now. So the first one is attending all classes on time, you can add 3 blocks. So they can take 3 blocks and put them on their tower. And you would read, being a good friend, add 3 blocks. The next student, take 3 blocks to the side, start building the tower. And you go through all of these, fully listening to someone who needs to speak, and add 1 block. Turning in all assignments on time, add 3 blocks. And then as you go through those again, you talk about what are the consequences of that. So you're building yourself up there, you're building your relationships, you're building a good foundation for yourself. So you keep going through all of those parts, and then you talk about possible ramifications. So I'm in the middle of page 9 here. As the cards are read, discuss the possible ramifications to scenarios. For example, for the card, building good relationships with adults who support you. Some possible ramifications might be you would have more people to get advice from. Adults who know you are, people who can give you more opportunity. Okay, so just kind of conversations around those different ideas. Whatever the card itself kind of bringing up. So continue to read the cards until the tower is completely built, or you run out of cards, and then after that they can put the Jenga games away. Okay, so you both set the cards. And then once the Jenga games are away, you can come back and do your large group discussion. So we're in the middle of the page here. So you want to bring the cohort back together. So for the towers, you've separated them because they can separate and interact. Now you're going to bring them back. And you ask, what do you think the Jenga towers represent in your life? So that's your first question. So some possible answers: support, a good foundation for success, happiness, reaching goals or visions, and any others. So they might have some other ideas. That's totally fine. Okay. And then, so that's the towers, and then what do individual blocks represent? So that's the towers are the big picture, but the individual actions that you take in the blocks, right? So that could be small actions that have larger ramifications, relationships, so relationships with individuals rather than like network or other ideas too.
And then you can talk about why is having a good support system important to success. So how do they benefit from that? And then what are actions we can take as individuals to try and build a good support system for ourselves?
So these cards are about individual actions, and then how they can build or kind of crumble what's going on. And on the next page now, page 10. So you're leading into them trying to build that good support system for themselves. And then you can refer back as to, earlier we looked at programs and people that will be at your high schools next year. How can you engage with them to help build a good support system for yourselves? Right? So referring back to the activity they did with the self, or maybe and then they get their trackers out again. And then there's one more box on the blue page that it didn't fill in earlier, which is people they already know who's going to support them. And then you ask the students, is there anyone in your life now that you think will be able to help support you as you make your high school visions become realities? And they could put one person, they could put multiple people, it's up to them, just to like what they feel comfortable with. Okay? And so then they can write that in here. So now, earlier they completed these, now they've completed that.
It may be a good idea, I know we usually give the students those trackers and then we take them back.
I would let them keep it, just so you aren't going back and forth to your bin to find them, or have them slide them under the desk and just keep it there, and then, okay, pick up your tracker, so that you guys won't have to keep going back to the box.
So any other questions on the building support system? So then the last activity is, we're on page 10, True2U reflection. So the goal of this activity is for students and mentors to reflect on what they have learned from their experiences in the True2U program. So in your cohort packet, you will get this. And this is a True2U reflections poster for the whole cohort. And then these are, I'm gonna have to do a little folding while you're there, but these will break into individual note cards. So each person in the cohort will get one of these note cards, including the mentors. And the goal of this activity is to really get people to think about what are they taking away from the program, and then you're going to have like a collective representation on here of what this program is meant to do as a student. So each person gets a note card, and then they're going to need markers or pens or something. And then the introduction is here on the bottom of page 10. We've all learned something about ourselves through this program, mentors and students. Just as it's important to set goals and visions for ourselves when we enter a new time in our lives, it's important to take a moment to reflect and think about what we've learned. So we're going to hand out a note card, and I want you to write at least one important thing you have learned as a result of True2U. So once everyone has done that, we'll each share and then glue or take them on to the poster. So you give people a few minutes with their note cards. You can assist them, you can walk around, if they need help writing it down or like talking through it, you can help them do that. And then once all the students have had a chance to write something down, maybe the mentors are standing up at the front with this in their hand, something like that. And then have each student one at a time stand up and share what they've written. And then as soon as they share, they can come up to the front, and then you'll have these glue sticks, or there might be tape in your bins as well, and they can affix it to the poster. Okay, so as each person's sharing, this is getting bigger and bigger and growing. And then once all the note cards are attached to the poster, you can talk to the teacher about trying to find a place where you can hang this in the classroom, so they can have a reminder of like whatever one's taking away from this experience. And we really do want the mentors to do these note cards. And so you can close the activity. So now I'm in the middle of page 11. We've all learned a lot about ourselves and each other through a True2U program. Thank you all for sharing about yourselves and what you learned. We'll see you in May, but we truly want to thank you for welcoming us to our school. We hope you've learned a lot about yourselves. We've enjoyed getting to know you. You all have a lot of potential. Know yourself, follow your interests, work hard, and treat people right. So you can feel free to say what you want to yourself. And then also, we have a gift that you can give the students. So each cohort will get a collection of these journals. And so there's a journal for each student. And so you can hand that out at the end of this activity. And so you can say, here's a small gift you can use throughout the next month to help setting goals for yourself and reflecting on your life. And so they'll each get one of these to take home. Okay. Any questions on that activity? So that'll be a nice closeout. And then we do the so what, now what, the recap of the session, which activity they liked most and what they learned from the activity, why is it important to do these things, and then you can share with the students what they can expect at the culminating event, so that's working with Devin Graham, who'll be back. There'll be an interactive, fun-filled team building experience. And then also representatives from their high school will be there, so they'll be able to meet with them, talk to students and counselors, and have lunch with them.
So where's this going to be?
It's going to be a youth and professional development center. It's 79
Must be a big place to for all these kids.
It is a former high school. East Professional Center. It's the old East High School. They can put it in Google Maps.
Ken, this is big, that's the one where the roof fell in. Remember that? So, I know it's a kind of negative thing, but it was a lot of press, so it may have to remember.
How long ago was that?
Oh, few years ago. I can't remember what year it was.
I remember seeing that on the news. That was really
I know, so I know it's a negative thing, but I know it kind of helps you bring me back to where they look. But it's a beautiful building.
Yeah,
They
wonderful.
repurposed it, they closed it and repurposed it for professional development, so it had a good story at the end.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, okay. So there will be an updated, Naviance sheet in your folders for the student. So, this, if the students needed to go back and finish a strand, they'll have it on this sheet now. If they needed the career key, it'll be on here, and then also the multiple intelligence. We did have an issue with that one, so there were some schools that didn't get to do that assessment because it's, the server, or, the program was offline. So, you'll get updated sheets in your folders as well for these. And so,
Do you have some level of confidence schools have actually had
I can say that, yes, because I've gone through a course.
So that
Yeah,
means
they'll be in their packets.
even if they were absent, they were able to go back and do it?
Yeah, so they're even happening now. So yeah, so you still may have a few that won't if they're absent or something like that. But that'll still happen. Yeah. What school are you in? Okay. Yeah. So they should, so that way you can use it, you can use it still in the tracker and they can do it for their shirt, so you'll have a copy of that now.
So is there a portion there where they can do a little catching up on the things that they weren't able to fill in? Because I know we did that last time, have them complete all their things somewhere.
Well, when you're doing the t-shirt activity or when they have their trackers, you can kind of walk around.
So we'll have this just in case they have gaps. We use this sheet so that they have gaps. Okay.
Being able to give them their folder with all of their worksheets and the grant admin book. That is
Yes, so I think it's time that they can take those home if they choose to. Yeah, they can. I mean, if the teacher requests that they keep it in the classroom for the rest of the year, that's okay, but, yeah. But it is, those are their materials, so they will get it eventually.
They'll get the journal for sure.
The journal,
Yeah, our school has that in April, so we didn't do session 6. And we're going to combine for session this time. All the materials for session 6. Stay at the school.
yes, so Harvey Rice, yeah, we're sending everything from last time too, and Lewis Aggie as well. So you can go through the curriculum, I would just, yeah, I would pick and choose.
Yeah.
Jam it in there.
But, like, for example, for the
We'll make sure the
teachers,
t-shirts get done.
yeah, well, and for this, they needed to have the values and the roles and stuff, so that was from the last.
Or at least talk about it. I mean, maybe you can figure it yourselves, whatever you sell. Any other selves?
Can you ask our school not to put us in? I'll sit in the hallway, I'll do anything, but that computer was just horrible. There was no place for kids to work. They sat around in these long rows. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Did you all have a different location before that?
Where what they, well, it was, they had, a specialist, but they had their, they had their class, yeah, I'll check on
being back in it really good stuff. We tried the library and we got Sharon because there were some officials in the library and we tried about switching gears. Doing what you can with what you got. This is excellent.
So instead of cards, I'll just wait for the
I'm sorry.
instead of cards, we'll just wait for the
It'll be in the school for you. I did email them out, so you got this one. Okay. So, yeah.